Okay, welcome back. In this segment, I want to go over how to address ant problems. And then I mentioned in the previous one that the best way to do it is to identify and eliminate the reason why the ants are there, rather than seal them or poison in my case. I really believe that if you were to be able to successfully not have the Cheerios and marshmallows and graham crackers on the floor, then the reason why the ants are going into the house gets eliminated. Now that sometimes can be easier said than done, but that is the case for whether we're talking about ants or termites or mice or squirrels or whatever the critter may be. That to me is the best solution and the most permanent. Assuming that we are not clear on what they're coming in for. You have a nifty little technique that I have learned, and I'll share that with you. It's called bait and switch. And I don't know if it was originally used here and then used to identify what happens with certain car dealerships, etc. But we're going to go over the bait and switch method because it's very helpful. So the idea is there's a couple of different kinds of ants. There's the grease type ants and the sugar type ants. Different ants are looking for different things, but generally it's going to be either grease or sugar. So what you do is you actually get some tape and you place grease or sugar. In this case, jelly is going to be sugar and grease is going to be peanut butter and honey. So you're going to place these, a little bit of either, jelly and peanut butter and honey around different locations in your house, and you're going to basically be able to see on this tape. Some of these ants are going to get trapped on the tape, and then you're going to be able to see where the ants are. Obviously the 80-20 rule is going to apply. 80% of the ants are going to be in 20% of the locations. And so using this bait and trap method, you're going to be able to identify where the ant problem is. Then what you do is you switch the peanut butter and jelly for a poison, which in many cases will be borax or boric acid or whatever ant poison that you can find. And then the ants are already used to going to the peanut butter and honey, and now they're going to be finding boric acid. They're going to still think that's food. They're going to take that back to the colony. The queen's going to eat it, and the colony dies. And of course, the third option is always to call the exterminator, and he can come in and kill whatever critters are there in your house today. Finally, another thing that you can do is, in order to get rid of ants on the inside, you can try to kill them on the outside. And that would involve spreading larger amounts. Inside the house, you can do poisons and baits and stuff, but generally you're going to have those be in smaller traps where maybe they're a couple inches in diameter. And the idea again is that the scout ant will find these traps and still bring a small amount of poison back to the exterior. But you can put hundreds or 1,000 times more ant bait outside the house where it's easier for them to get to. And with 1,000 times more ant bait out there, there's 1,000 times more likelihood, I would suspect, that you're going to kill the colony. You just got to be careful, because if you're putting it in these big piles that children or dogs can get to, you might be killing off the children and or dogs, and of course nobody wants to do that. So what I did is I spread it out evenly so that even if the child or the dog was licking the dirt, they would only get a very small dose of the poison I was spreading out. Or putting it actually inside the grass near the house, and of course once it's down in the grass it becomes very difficult for a child or a dog to get to that poison. So that is another answer as well. Next section, we're going to talk about spiders. Everybody wants spiders in their house, so we'll let you know how to do that, and I'll be back.